You're listening to Tuesday Morning Quarterbacks with Don Carpenter and Chris Brennel.
News Talk 1270, KIML. And welcome back. It's 9:07, time for the Tuesday Morning Quarterbacks. And Chris Brennel is in studio with us. And we should have on the line Rough Riders coach Nate Perleyberg. Good morning.
Morning, guys. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you, and thanks for holding, by the way.
You bet.
Nate, what's going on?
Well, just moving today, actually. Moving into a new house and trying to find a bunch of guys stronger than me to help lift stuff.
Oh, well, I would help you, but my lower back has been just killing me lately. I'll send over a fruit basket or something.
Sounds good.
A housewarming gift. Housewarming bottle of wine, and of course.
Well, wine coolers.
If Chris sends it, it's going to be Zima. a bottle of Zima and a card that he got at the dollar store.
No, I write my own cards, DC.
Oh, okay.
They always have weird riddles. I don't really write, other good messages. I'm not like Hallmark or anything.
Well, let's talk a little baseball. I'll just throw a stick in the spokes of everything. Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
The normal stick thrower isn't here, so.
Are you referring to Vic Wright?
Congratulations to Vic Wright, by the way. We saw the baby yesterday. He was
cute baby,
adorable.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of come from behind victories over this past weekend. How's your heart holding up?
Well, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and our kids never quit, and I think a lot of people going into this tournament didn't give us a whole lot of chance, and we believe in ourselves, and it shows the character of our team by being able to win those close ones.
Well, yeah, and just being a part of that down there for me was great, because I think you're right. I think people expected you guys to be there 2 days, maybe 3 days. But you said something last week that really got to me, as far as you said, because you were the runner-ups at the Wyoming State tournament, you felt like your team had a chip on their shoulder because of it, and I believed you. That team was pumped all week, and they come ready to play baseball. Yeah,
the umpires were comparing us to the Hawaii team, and you didn't get to experience that last year, Chris, but when we went to Oregon last year, the Hawaii team just played really loose, played with a lot of fire, a lot of energy, and that's what we said every day is nobody expects us to win. Let's hang around another day and throw a monkey wrench into someone's season. And, we eliminated 4 state champions this weekend. So to me, I know a state championship would have been great, but that tournament that we just went through was obviously a much tougher tournament. And to finish second and to say we're in the top 16 in the country, and there's 140 teams, I think, to start the season, and to be in the final 16, it's just incredible. I don't think a lot of people really understand, the accomplishment that it really is.
And I want to talk for a second. When you guys are down, just is it? Do you think it's because you should get some credit? I mean, it's amazing. Come from behind wins. It typically involves a calming influence from the coach. But when you guys are down, do you talk to the players a lot, or is it just you just remain calm and they just kind of follow your lead on that?
Yeah, it kind of varies from game to game. The Cody game at the state tournament was probably as excited as I've ever gotten on them, and kind of took a different approach and got more in the face type. And this weekend was more of a calming presence, and just kept telling them that the better team's in our dugout. I truly believe that all weekend, and I feel like if we would have had a little fresher pitching for the Medford game, it might have been a different story, and it's unfortunate that we couldn't give them a better game. But I think it's really just knowing your players and knowing your team and how they respond. And, I seem to push some right buttons this weekend. So it's pretty easy to do when you got good kids.
I think I hear a little one back there. Does he have anything to add to that?
Well, Dad's babysitting this morning while Mom's getting ready for the moving day. So she must have forgot about my 9 a.m. call in here. So
oh, that's all right.
He's just telling me what he thinks about baseball here. So
does he ever question some of the moves you make during a game, or?
Yeah, he's a handful right now. He is all over the place, and it was cool to have them there this weekend and have them experience it too.
Now, something we've talked about for the entire season was timely hitting, and earlier in the season it really wasn't there. You saw it developing towards the end of the season. Was it gratifying to see that when it really counted, that you were able to get those runs?
Yeah, you can say that again, and just the execution and how our guys executed. I mean, from the squeeze bunt to beat Cheyenne with the bases loaded. I mean, that's a really risky play because all they have to do is pick it up and flip it home for a force. They don't have to tag them, and to Drayson Ladke sacrificed bunting to get in that situation. Jaren Arbach laid down a sac bunt to beat Washington that moved, let's see, who was it? Moved Drayson up, and then Tyler Tennant's single to win it. Those are just games that you never forget, but it really comes down to is the plays before the hit that make it happen and getting in that situation and being able to put the pressure on the infield by having to bring them in. And we practice that stuff a lot. We really work on situations a lot. It was nice to see it pay off.
Now, that game against Cheyenne, I think that was pretty much the game of the week as far as all the guys. I know there was another comeback game earlier in the week, but that was impressive considering. I mean, it was a packed house. There were no empty seats left in Cheyenne when you guys were playing them on Saturday night, and then to win into extra innings. And it just seemed like, the feeling was, it seemed like everybody was thinking, well, Cheyenne at some point is going to win this game. But no, you guys did it. And I tell you one thing, that Cheyenne crowd was shocked again because the second straight time you beat them in that ballpark. And to just talk about the emotions of beating a team that, at the Northwest Regional, that came from your state.
Well, I think the state tournament, the scores were not a reflection of how close the games really were. I mean, people see 10-5 and 8-0, and I think that Cheyenne's, just head and shoulders better than us. And our guys wanted to go out and ruin their season, basically. And I don't know how to say that nicely, but that's what they wanted to do, was end their season on their field. And obviously, people know the rivalry, and it's not a lack of respect for them. We have a great deal of respect for them and their program, and but we wanted to move on, and we felt like being the last Wyoming team standing would be even a greater accomplishment than winning state. And it was sweet. It's right up there with my top couple wins ever, if not the top win. And I thought about it a lot over the last few days. And being able to see their crowd shocked and for us to move on, and our crowd just kept building every day. They listened on the radio, and people just kept coming and coming and coming. And it was a big part of it, having a regional where we can have kind of a home base behind us.
And you talked about looking back on that game, but what about, have you looked back on this past year? I mean, what a historic year for you guys. You broke the wins record. You ended the whole season with 64 wins. You had your team, the best ERA you guys have ever had with the program, 2 straight Northwest Regional appearances. And I also want to point out, I know you guys, you move on. As coaches and players, you guys have to move on. You can't think about injuries. Next man up, but you had one player that was starting a lot that ended up not being on the team. You had another player that had Tommy John surgery and really would have probably been the ace of the staff down the stretch. You really could have used Tanner Rogan at this thing, but to still make it that far, a testament to your players, a testament to the coaching staff.
Yeah, and, we didn't, you're right. We just move on when those things happen. But looking back, it's, and realizing that you were probably one pitcher away in that game to get to a World Series. And, who knows, maybe Rogan's ready, or, and Eaton was a little bit sore this weekend. He had to work so hard in the state tournament just to get us to that point. I think he threw 13 innings in state. So, if we'd have had those two guys, hindsight's always 20/20, but it could have been different, but who knows? It might have changed the chemistry. Tanner's obviously a great kid and great teammate, and we loved having him, but it just didn't work out. And yeah, I don't know how we're going to top this season, to be honest with you. Every year you kind of wonder how you're going to top the year before, when last year we win a state title, and this year to go as far as we do. But, we'll get to work here in a couple weeks. We start a fall program in a couple weeks, and a bunch of our kids move on to football and play in other sports, which is great. And we'll definitely put everything we got into it again next year.
Now, you mentioned next year, and, I can't let you go without talking about what's coming up for this team. Now, you guys lose a lot of production, but at the same time, you have a lot coming back. You got Latke coming back, Hughes coming back, a lot of fixtures on your pitching staff coming back, including Silty and Langdon. So there's a lot of promise for next year as well.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I think the biggest thing we're going to have to replace is our depth on the mound, and try to find some depth. But hopefully this run at regionals also will be a recruiting tool for us too. I know there's a lot of great athletes out there in Gillette that we'd like to have, and I think the kids that play for us wouldn't change it for the world. So I think we're starting to be recognized as maybe not just a basketball, football, wrestling town. We've had a pretty good baseball program here for 10 years, and we'd like to have some more kids come out that could help us, and open to looking at new kids as well.
Well, and I think we're starting to see more interest in baseball with the younger kids as they're coming up too. I know maybe 15 or 20 years ago, people were wondering, is baseball a dying sport? But this shows that it really isn't. I think baseball is getting even bigger.
Well, I mean, we'll put our heart and soul into this program, and myself and our board and coaching staff and our players, and I think if you work hard enough at something, good things will happen, and we do things the right way. I mean, it's no lie. We do. We're very structured and very disciplined, and try to get the right kids that way, and so I think that's been a big part of it too, and obviously we've had great players, but just kind of changing the culture into what I felt like needed to be to win those types of games at a regional tournament. I mean, you've got to have tough kids that don't quit on you and don't care about who gets the credit. I think that's such a key of this season's team, was nobody cared who got the credit. It showed, on Sunday we had our 3-hitter lay down a sack bunt, so in a lot of places that doesn't happen, and it's just kids buying into the system and trusting in what I do.
Now, your team, of course, had an historic year, 27-1 at home, and we talk about all the records, stuff like that. But when you think about it, thinking about this team from this past year and 10 years down the road, what are some of the things you'll remember about this team, aside from all the great stuff they did on the field?
Well, off the field, as quality of a group as I've ever had. They all cared about each other. Probably the closest group I've ever had as far as hanging out together, never letting a couple people go by themselves. They all did everything together, and I think that showed in that fight that we had, especially down the stretch. Was we didn't want to quit playing. We wanted to. Our seniors didn't want to leave the field on Sunday. They wanted to keep this going, and it was very special for me. I mean, the last 2 years with the kids I've had, I told them it's been the best 2 years of my life. On top of Lincoln being born too, and it's just it seems to keep getting better, and hopefully there's not a rebuilding process here. We're just going to reload next year, and hopefully be back in the mix, and maybe make another run at state and at the regional.
Now, I do have a question for you. I mean, you mentioned reloading instead of rebuilding. When you look for new kids to join the team, I mean, do you like those multi-sport athletes that, I mean, they play hockey, they play football, they're doing everything, or do you prefer your players that just focus on one sport, that they can be the best at that sport?
I love the guys that do multiple sports. If I had to pick between guys, I'll take the athlete all the time. They just learn to be competitive in other environments, They're staying busy through the off season. They don't get burnt out. I mean, I think even myself after fall ball, I'm going to stay away from the field for a month and just kind of recharge my battery a little bit and do some other things. But I just think it's such a shame today that kids get so caught up in trying to do one thing and playing one sport, focusing all their attention on one sport. And there's just too many good athletes in Gillette to play one. And so we really tell our kids to play other sports and to do other things. And we do offer fall baseball for the kids that don't want to play football or tennis, but we're trying to push them in those avenues to go play those other sports for sure.
Well, I imagine it probably also cuts down on the repetition injuries because, I mean, for instance, you don't have a kid throwing curveballs in December. Instead, they're wrestling or playing basketball or something that keeps them in shape without damaging, from repetition.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of Tanner last year. Rogan was having to go to college, and then he threw all those innings in the fall, and then jumping in the spring and having to throw a bunch. And I like to have our guys just take like 3 months off and not throw. I mean, the Tommy John thing just seems to keep growing, and it just, a lot of it has to be with all the showcases and kids throwing year round and everything's max effort and everybody's doing one sport. So we really try to, at least with our pitchers, it's worked for us. I don't know if it's, a fix-all for everyone, but we try to give them 3-4 months to just not throw a baseball and focus more on the weight training portion of it.
Well, Nate, before I don't know how much time we have, but before I let you go,
we have all the time.
Oh, we have plenty of time. Okay, well, you know what? I'll have a 2-part question. First off, you mentioned Tommy John surgery, and I was watching something a couple weeks ago where if the pitchers, when they backload, I think a while back they were taught to hold their wrist where their fingers were behind them. Mm-hmm. And they're thinking that might be a cause of Tommy John surgery rather than coming back and their fingers are still towards the hitter. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that has anything to do with it, or?
Well, the only problem I think with that argument is, the guys that reach back and the fingers don't get all the way back and they're still facing the hitter. I think then you short arm the baseball a little bit and then it becomes a shoulder. So really it's a 2-part thing. I mean, if you're short arming it, it's going to be more stress, I think, on the front side and on the shoulder. And those are almost impossible to come back from. I mean, rotator cuffs are not friendly to come back from, at least in my experience. And at least with Tommy John, not saying we want it to happen. We've had one guy in 10 years, knock on wood. But at least you got a chance to come back stronger with that. And I mean, we're still teaching, the full reach and keep staying behind the baseball.
And actually, that actually reminds me. I know someone who has a young kid that they're going to try to get him to play sports when he gets a little bit older. Now, what do you think is a good point for up and coming baseball players to start throwing curveballs? Because I mean, this person says no curveballs until he's in high school. Is that a good rule of thumb, or because I mean you're seeing? I mean, all you have to do is watch the Little League World Series. I mean, you have 12-year-old kids throwing curveballs. You can't do that forever.
Yeah, I think it's awful. Throwing curveballs at 10, 11, 12 years old, and obviously I got a little one someday that's going to be coming up, and as competitive as I am, I hope I don't change my views on it. But you turn the college or the Little League World Series on, and it's all about winning, which we all want to win. But curveball after curveball after curveball is these kids are still growing, and in our program we try to wait till they're 15, 16. A lot of it depends on how mature they are at that point, but try to really work on locating our fastball and throwing a changeup. The changeup's just the toughest pitch in baseball to hit, in my opinion, other than a guy with just tremendous fastball movement. But it's something that I think is overused, and you don't have to have a good curveball to be effective.
Well, in fairness to those Little League coaches, some of those kids are 15 and 16 they're throwing out there.
Well,
they got the wrong birth certificates. That Little League World Series.
Well, they do things a little bit differently in Taiwan, I mean, he's got a beard. That's all right. They develop early.
That seems to happen a lot over the last few years, doesn't it?
Well, when you see a 6-foot-tall kid with a full beard throwing knuckleballs, there's something up.
Something's wrong with you as a coach if you will cheat at a Little League and play a 16-year-old kid. There's just something wrong with that.
Well,
years of therapy is needed, I think.
Got your priorities wrong, probably.
Well, and in all seriousness now, though, it's big business now. I mean, and
thanks ESPN.
Well, and Sports Illustrated putting a 12-year-old girl on the cover. Which I thought was great because she says she's playing basketball when she gets old enough.
She wants to go to UConn.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, Gino's already recruiting her. Sending her texts and congratulating her, and she's 12 years old, and the UConn winning as coach. And, well, I don't know if he's more than Pat Summitt, but, he's won how many national titles, and he's already recruiting a 12-year-old, so times have changed.
They certainly have. I want to thank you again, Coach, and congratulations on the great season. It was, it was a shame that didn't go all the way, but it was a really exciting run there.
Well, we appreciate you guys and letting me come on in the mornings here, and Chris, thanks so much for everything, and we've had people that didn't even know what Riders baseball was listening the last couple weeks here and following, and just want to thank Bases Radio and you guys for all your hard work.
Well, even in the off season, you're welcome to come in and just shoot the bull anytime you want.
Love to. I love doing it. So thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Coach. There you go. Nate Perleyberg, coach of the Gillette Rough Riders, second place in the region. So that's top 16 in the entire nation.
Wow, what a season.
Pretty good.
Great to be a part of.
Okay, well, we'll take a break now. News Talk 1270 KIML.
An hour without politics? Yes. It's about time. Tuesday morning quarterbacks on News Talk 1270 KIML. You're listening to Tuesday Morning Quarterbacks with Don Carpenter and Chris Brennel.
News Talk 1270 KIML. Welcome back. Tuesday morning quarterbacks hour. It's 9:42. Okay. We did this on the fly. We really did this one on the fly. During the break, I actually printed up our prediction sheets because I've been forgetting to do this for weeks. Usually what I do the first week of preseason, which is this week, we have football, which is nice. I do a little preseason prediction thing just to see how close we get. I'm never close on anything. I think I picked the Saints to go to the Super Bowl last year.
You and a couple other people did.
Yeah, they were awful. But I don't think anybody expected them to collapse like they did. But that's the way it goes sometimes. So we're going to do these, and what we'll do is these won't be final picks. I'll give you till the end of the week to make everything finalized. So you can change them, you can change them up, however you want to do it. But we'll just kind of go through these as a preliminary, and then at the end of the season we'll go back and laugh at how wrong I was about everything. Okay, so we'll start off with the big one because everybody wants to know who's going to win the Super Bowl this year. If I was in Vegas a couple weeks ago, I was going to put some bets on bets on some futures. The odds weren't quite where I wanted them to be, so I didn't do it. I did win $6 on Ronda Rousey, though.
There you go.
Which is pretty big money considering the odds. I mean,
that's good money. 26 McDoubles.
Not in Las Vegas, it isn't.
Oh, they're not $1 there?
That's one soda in Vegas.
McDoubles aren't $1 in Vegas?
Well, I think the dollar menu is like $1.79 or something like that in Vegas.
The $1.79 menu?
Yeah, it's just called the value menu. I don't know. I wouldn't eat a McDonald's when I'm in Vegas.
Yeah, that's true. There's so many buffets.
Well, they're decent. You know, we didn't do a buffet this time.
That's interesting.
We didn't do a buffet. One morning we went to the Hash House Go-Go, which is a breakfast chain with this pancake. I'm not lying, was as big as a pizza.
Nice.
I ordered breakfast. I ordered one blueberry pancake, some eggs, and some sausage. The pancake was the size of a large pizza.
I'm into that.
Yeah, it wasn't too terribly expensive. Then we went to Emeril Lagasse's Delmonico Steakhouse, which was really good. We went to Bobby Flay's Burger Palace, which was really good.
Me and Bobby go way back.
Yeah, and I know I'm missing something, but I think one night we just went to the sports book and ordered wings, which were also decent, but nothing special. So no McDonald's, but I'm pretty sure their dollar menu is $1.79. Okay, so Super Bowl matchup. Who do you have for your Super Bowl matchup?
Super Bowl matchup. Well, if people were listening yesterday, I picked the Colts to be in the Super Bowl. And their counterpart will be the Packers of Green Bay. It'll be Indianapolis and Green Bay.
Kind of an old school type of feel.
And you know who's going to win. It's going to be the Colts. Andrew Luck will finally cement his name as a franchise quarterback.
I think he's already done that.
He'll finally have a ring.
I think Andrew Luck gets a ring, but not this year. I think maybe next year or the year after. Although they loaded up that team.
They did. Frank Gore, Andre Johnson, shored up their D-line.
I think they just fall short in the AFC Championship game again. I have Baltimore and Dallas in the Super Bowl. I know.
I mean, come on.
You think I'm crazy, but
Baltimore's going to go 7-9. They might win 8.
Oh,
and then Dallas. No. Dallas is. They're a good football team. They'll probably go 10-6. Maybe go 11-5, but that team's not going to make a run in the playoffs.
Dallas isn't even going to win their division, and I think they're going to make the Super Bowl. And I think it's finally Tony Romo's year, and this time Dez will catch the ball.
So you're saying you think Dallas will beat Baltimore?
No. Okay.
No,
I think they'll make it to the Super Bowl. I think Baltimore wins for Steve Smith, and that's what actually convinced me. I was kind of on the edge with this. I didn't want to pick Baltimore because I don't want to jinx them. But remember what happened the last time a grizzled veteran announced he was going to retire for the Ravens. Of course, there's a big difference between Ray Lewis and Steve Smith, who's only been there 2 years. But I think they want to get him a ring.
I still think they have. I think they're a worse football team. I think that team honestly overachieved last year. I think Baltimore overachieved. And this, I don't think they can do it 2 years in a row.
See, the only big piece they lost was Torrey Smith, and as Baltimore fans know, he didn't want to fight for passes, so he can go to San Francisco and go 3-13. I mean, he's a good man, and he still loves the city, but see ya. I mean, all he was good for was racking up pass interference penalties. Which he was really good at, by the way.
Yeah.
If the 49ers are smart, they'll just have Torrey Smith run a fly route and let him get pass interference penalties. Okay, so AFC North champions. I do have Baltimore winning this one, but I think Pittsburgh's going to make a run of it because I think Pittsburgh's going to have probably the best offense in the league.
They'll have the best offense in the league, or the second best maybe, and I think their defense is a little better than it was last year. Pittsburgh wins the division.
Okay. AFC South. There's no question here, right?
Houston might keep it close for a while, but no, Indianapolis pulls away.
Yeah, the problem with Houston is they got nobody to throw the ball and nobody to catch the ball, and now nobody to run it with Arian Foster getting injured.
Right. So they're going to have a good defense, but that can only take you so far.
J.J. Watt can only do so much.
Yeah. Can he play quarterback maybe? I don't know.
Well, he's done everything else. What's the over-under on J.J. Watt offensive touchdowns this year? I say 5.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was thinking 4. So
I think he got 4 last year. I bet you anything they play him more on tight end this year.
He might get a couple carries at the goal line.
Who knows?
You never know. Hand it to him.
He can do everything. AFC East.
Patriots.
I thought about this. I picked the Dolphins last year, and it burned me. I think the Patriots at some point don't win that division.
It's going to be whenever they don't have Tom Brady.
Well, they don't have Tom Brady for the first 4 games.
Well,
they're going to go 2-2 or 3-1.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think at some point, I mean, they lost a lot of players.
To your point, Miami did pick up Ndamukong Suh, and to me, a very good nose tackle is equivalent to a franchise quarterback or close to for the defense. And so I think they're going to be much improved. I think they'll challenge New England for a while, and I also think Miami has a really good chance. In fact, I put them in one of the wild card spots.
Okay.
I think they make the playoffs.
I think the question is, how much does New England cheat to get there? Okay, the AFC West, I have the Chiefs.
Oh, you have the Chiefs. I have the Chiefs too. That is stupid. I'm going to cross them out, and I'm going to go with Denver. Even though I think Peyton Manning is going to lose it this year, and I think this is his last year, and he's going to really struggle, Denver has other pieces to where they can win the division.
Well, here's the thing with Peyton Manning. With Peyton Manning, you're going to get the old Peyton Manning for at least some part of the season. It's just that point where he becomes broken down Peyton Manning, 39-year-old Peyton Manning, just keeps getting closer and closer to week 1 every year. So I mean, he broke down at week 10 last year. If he breaks down at week 8 this year, they're in trouble.
9-7 might win that division, by the way.
I think the Chiefs are going to be better than you think.
I hope, but I don't know.
Never count out Alex Smith. People don't give Alex Smith as much credit as he deserves for that team.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah. Okay, AFC North, the Packers. Yeah.
Nobody's challenging them. I do think the Bears are going to go 10-6, but the Green Bay is going to win 12-13 games. The Bears are going to make the playoffs. They're going to be a wild card team.
The Bears are going to be better, a lot better.
They have John Fox. That's what John Fox does. He makes the playoffs.
And I think the Vikings maybe go 8-8. I like Teddy Bridgewater.
The Vikings are horrible. That's a bad football team.
Adrian Peterson. That's all you really need. Oh, okay. NFC South. I have the Panthers, and this could be another year
6-10 Panthers.
Where a 6-10 team wins. I actually remember seeing a guy that ran simulations on Madden Football, the video game. A guy that ran simulations to see if it would be possible for a 4-win team to win a division, and the only division that it would have worked in was the NFC South. He managed to get I think it was a 4-11-1 team to win the NFC South. He had to run thousands of seasons to get this, but this could be another 2 losing seasons, but 2 division crowns in a row streak for the Panthers. It's just awful football.
I think Carolina wins the division. I think they do it more respectively this year. I think they win 9 or 10 games. I think last year they underperformed. This year they'll be better.
They got a lot better at the end of the season.
Yes.
But I don't know. I still think they're terrible. Okay, the NFC East. Now, I had Dallas in the Super Bowl, but I don't have them winning the East. I think the Eagles win the East. They win 12 or 13 games and immediately lose in the playoffs.
I think this is a no-brainer, Dallas. Eagles won't even have a winning season.
Yeah, it was
8-8.
You think so?
Yep.
I don't know. DeMarco Murray in that offense? Who knows? But again,
he'll get his, but the Eagles can't stop anybody.
And just remember, if they go anything less than 8-8, you can claim that Chip Kelly's racist.
You remember this last year, Philadelphia. We talked about this a lot about how they were winning games by getting defensive touchdowns, special teams touchdowns. Yeah. They cannot do that 2 years in a row.
They can't keep it up. They're going to have to score on offense.
Yeah.
It's all going to be Sam Bradford. If Sam Bradford is the Sam Bradford that started in the NFL, they'll be fine.
Well, he will be for about 4 games.
If he's the Sam Bradford we've seen the last 3 years,
on the bench,
yeah, they're done. Yeah, in the hospital. Okay, the NFC West, the Seahawks, not really even a competition.
Arizona might be okay, but still Seattle wins.
I think Arizona still wins 10 games, but they're stuck behind a team that will probably win 11 or 12. Because I mean, 2 of those against the Raiders. It's kind of a weak division. I mean, you have two good teams and then two not so good teams. The Seahawks, by the way, I don't think are going to be near as good as they have been. Okay, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now these awards, especially the Rookie of the Year awards, I didn't have a whole lot of time to study on. I think there's only two guys that I think have a chance for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'm picking Max Williams, tight end for the Ravens. He's one of those tight ends that can catch the ball, and everybody knows that's in style right now.
I'm going to go with Marcus Mariota. I think he'll have growing pains, but he'll put up some yards and look pretty good doing it in his first year.
Yeah,
remember, he doesn't have to be spectacular to win Rookie of the Year. So.
And he's been doing really well in practice so far.
And I think the big key is he'll take care of the ball with Tampa, and that'll honestly get him the award.
Defensive Rookie of the Year. I have Marcus Peters from the Chiefs. Honestly, I know nothing about any of the candidates, but he's playing for the Chiefs, so I give him that.
Marcus Peters, that's who I have as well. The guy keeps making plays at camp.
Yeah, well, see.
All he did at Washington was make interceptions. Yeah. He could be a shutdown corner in this league.
Well, and he probably will be, maybe within a couple of years. Okay, passing yards champion, I have Breeze. Rushing yards, Adrian Peterson.
I have Aaron Rodgers for the passing yards, and I have Jamal Charles for the rushing yards.
That's actually two really good picks.
Frank Gore might challenge Charles. I just don't know if Indianapolis will run it enough.
They won't.
So
they won't. League MVP,
Andrew Luck.
J.J. Watt.
Again?
I think so. He's the best player in any sport right now. He's the Ronda Rousey of every sport that's not women.
I don't know if I agree with that. He's a defensive end.
But he's a tight end. He does everything. The only thing that could slow him down is an injury, which would be catastrophic for that team.
Really hurt Houston. Yeah. You're talking about a defensive end that he's off the team. That's 3 losses probably. He gets that team 3 or 4 more wins. Just how good he is.
Oh, at least, and this is in seasons where they only win 3 games.
Right.
Okay. Well, we're out of time. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks a lot, Chris. We'll see you 6 o'clock sharp. Stay tuned for Rush.
This is Tuesday Morning Quarterbacks with Don Carpenter and Chris Brintle, and sometimes Vic Wright. News Talk 1270 KIML, 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 1270 KIML.